Hey friends, let's talk boundaries today. I think that subject is really under talked about in our society. Like, we need them, we know what the word means, but it's very difficult to create them. And it's also very difficult to honor them and just have healthy boundaries. And I think the reason it's so difficult is because the way we've been taught about boundaries. I think for a long time we were taught that boundaries were a reactive thing and it was a threatening thing, right? Like, if you can't say that to me anymore. I'm creating a boundary for me that's healthy, and you're not able to say these things to me anymore. And so then we are telling other people what to do, and then they get a choice whether to listen to that or not, right? And sometimes they don't. And so then they say those things to us, and we're like, you have violated my boundary. And then we are angry. They're angry for us trying to tell them what to do with life, and it just doesn't seem to work. So then we're in this vicious cycle of, how do I establish healthy boundaries? Why aren't these boundaries working? This is hard, right? So let's just shift it. Let's just take everything we know about boundaries, rip it into pieces, throw it in the trash can, and let's start from scratch. And what I have learned from boundaries, most of the stuff that I've learned about boundaries comes from my life coach, Brooke Castillo. And I think she has some really good podcast episodes on the Life Coach School if you want to dig into it a little bit more. But here is just a whole new perspective and shift on boundaries. Boundaries are meant to be something for you. They are things that you take action on. They are never about the other person and controlling or threatening the other person. So we create boundaries out of love for ourselves and love for other people. And we are the ones that take action. So let's just use an example. If I have a family member that every time we go to have conversation about politics, they get very agitated and start saying slanderous things to me about me or who I am and my character because I don't believe like they do, right? It's an uncomfortable, not healthy situation, right? So for me to create a boundary and to say to this, we're just going to call him Earl. For me to say to my Uncle Earl, Earl, if you say these things to me again, whatever, I'm not going to ever talk to you again. And you better never say these things to me again. That doesn't feel good to us, right? It feels very threatening. It feels very threatening to Earl, and it feels very threatening to ourselves because we've drawn a line in the sand. We've said, we're never going to talk to you again if you do this, which, by the way, we can't control whether Earl's going to do that or not. So we have to then be prepared to live up to that line in the sand that we've drawn. If Earl does it again, then I have to be prepared to never talk to him again. And that doesn't feel good, right? But if I shift it and I move to a place of, Earl, in my head, I'm going to have this conversation with myself, Kim, out of love and compassion to you, we're not going to put ourselves in a place where you're being spoken to like that. And out of love and compassion for Uncle Earl, I'm not going to threaten him or throw this huge fit and say, I'm never going to talk to you again. But instead, I'm just going to be honest. And I'm going to create a boundary that is very loving for me and very loving for him, and one that I can adhere to. And I'm in control of the actions, and I'm in control of the results, not Earl. I'm not putting anything on Earl. Earl can continue to show up just like he is, say exactly what he wants to say, and behave exactly like he wants to, because he is an adult and he gets to do that. We have to learn that and embrace that, okay? So then I create a boundary out of love, and I'm honest with Earl. Hey, Uncle Earl, I don't really particularly want to talk politics with you because it seems like it never really benefits. So just know, if you happen to bring politics up with me, that I am not going to engage in that conversation. I'll probably change the subject, or I'll just leave the conversation, excuse myself and leave the conversation. That's it. Do you see how loving that is? It's like, if you bring this up, like, I'm not going to engage with it. I'm going to excuse myself politely, or I'm just going to change the subject. I am in control of those things, right? I get to change the subject. He gets to choose to accept that change of subject, or he doesn't. And then I get to excuse myself politely. I'm in control of that. And he can be like, okay, great. And it doesn't matter whether he honors my boundary or not, I'm going to honor my boundary. So when I see Uncle Earl again, and I've already told him that, and he starts bringing up politics, I'm just going to like, how's your business going? Tell me about your business. And if he's like, no, I want to talk about politics. Okay, well, I'm going to excuse myself, and I'm going to go over here and have a conversation over here. I'm going to go get a drink, but it was really good seeing you. Do you see how easy that is? And how peaceful and loving it is? There's no threats. There's no putting my power into Uncle Earl's hands. I have the power. It's my boundaries. I honor my boundaries, and I do it to love myself and to love on Uncle Earl. So that is like the best thing I've ever learned about boundaries. And they are not about other people. They are about you. And your boundaries are for you. And your boundaries require action out of you, not another human. Isn't that so empowering? Like, we take back our power of control and choice, and we don't allow our results and our feelings and emotions to be in other people's hand, hoping they behave the way we hope that they want to behave. We hope they will behave. Instead, we're like, hey, this is how I show up. This is what my boundaries are healthy for me. And these are how I take action on my boundaries, out of love for myself and out of love for Uncle Earl. So I hope this is really helpful, my friends. If there's anything else you would like to talk about, please put a comment, DM me. I just want to be helpful to you guys, because I've had to learn all these things the hard way, or not know these things for years, and discover all these truths that I've found that have just been so life-changing. I'm like, gosh, I wish I'd have known that 15 years ago. So have a wonderful day, my friends.